The MotoGP paddock may be heading towards one of the most explosive team combinations in modern racing history. Imagine two of the most aggressive, fearless riders of different generations sharing the same garage, riding the most dominant machine on the grid. It sounds almost too dramatic to be real, but the possibility is now being seriously discussed across the paddock. Rumours are growing louder that Pedro Acosta could join Ducati Lenovo Team next season and line up alongside 8-time world champion Marc Marquez. If the move materialises, it would instantly become one of the most fascinating partnerships ever seen in MotoGP. Yet behind the excitement lies a serious question. Could such a volatile pairing actually work inside the same team? Even Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi might need nerves of steel to manage two of the most intense racers on the grid. As one legendary figure jokingly suggested, the situation could be so tense that Tardozzi might need heart medication just to survive the season. The speculation surrounding a potential Marquez Acosta partnership has intensified in recent weeks. Much of the discussion stems from uncertainty over the future of Francesco Bagnaia, Ducati's current factory rider. Bagnaia, who delivered back-to-back world championships in 2022 and 2023 for Ducati, endured a difficult 2025 MotoGP campaign. Reports suggest his form has raised doubts within the Italian manufacturer, while his contract is also set to expire at the end of the season. With negotiations yet to produce clarity, whispers have begun circulating that Bagnaia could leave the factory squad next year. One possible destination mentioned within the paddock is Aprilia Racing, especially amid speculation that Jorge Martin could move to Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP team. If Bagnaia departs, Ducati would suddenly have a seat available on arguably the most competitive bike in the championship. At the same time, Pedro Acosta has become one of the most sought-after riders in the MotoGP rider market. The Spanish sensation, widely known as Baby Shark, has rapidly built a reputation as one of the sport's most electrifying young talents. Although currently tied to Red Bull KTM factory racing, speculation suggests Acosta could leave the Austrian manufacturer at the end of the season. Ducati, always keen to secure elite talent, is believed to be closely monitoring his situation. For Ducati, the appeal is obvious. Acosta represents the future of the sport. Fearless, spectacular, and immensely fast. Pairing him with Marc Marquez would create an extraordinary blend of experience and youthful aggression. The potential partnership has drawn the attention of many figures within the MotoGP world, including legendary racer and team owner Jorge Martinez Aspar. Aspar believes the idea of Marquez and Acosta racing for the same team would be one of the most compelling storylines MotoGP could produce. According to the 4-time world champion, bringing together two riders with such extraordinary talent, each known for their attacking riding style, would create a spectacle that fans would not want to miss. However, he also recognizes the potential challenges. Aspar understands better than most how intense rivalries can become when two elite riders share the same garage. Having experienced similar dynamics both as a rider and as a team manager, he knows how delicate such situations can be. Both Marquez and Acosta are known for their uncompromising racing style. Marquez built his legendary career through relentless aggression and breathtaking overtakes, while Acosta has already demonstrated a similar fearless mentality early in his MotoGP career. Putting those two personalities in the same garage would almost certainly create internal competition, something that could either elevate Ducati to even greater dominance or risk destabilizing the team. That is why Aspar jokingly turned his attention to Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi. He suggested that managing two fiercely competitive Spaniards might push Tardozzi to the limit. In fact, Aspar humorously remarked that the Ducati boss might need medication to keep his heart rate under control if he had to manage such an explosive duo. From a strategic perspective, the move would be both bold and risky. On one hand, Ducati would be assembling arguably the most powerful rider lineup in MotoGP history, a multiple-time champion still capable of winning titles alongside the sport's most exciting young star. On the other hand, the internal rivalry could become extremely intense. MotoGP history is filled with examples of superstar teammates creating spectacular drama, from Rossi and Lorenzo at Yamaha to Marquez and Pedrosa at Honda. Ducati would need exceptional management to ensure competition remains healthy rather than destructive. For now, the idea remains speculation. Contracts, negotiations, and the ever-shifting rider market will ultimately decide how the grid looks next season. But one thing is certain. The mere possibility of Marc Marquez and Pedro Acosta sharing the same Ducati garage has already ignited the imagination of the MotoGP paddock. If it happens, fans could witness a dream team capable of dominating the championship, or one of the fiercest internal battles the sport has ever seen. Either way, the drama would be impossible to ignore. And for Davide Tardozzi, it might truly be a season that tests the strength of his heart. While the rumours continue to swirl, many insiders in the paddock believe Ducati's long-term vision could play a major role in any decision involving Pedro Acosta. The Italian manufacturer has built its recent dominance in MotoGP by carefully balancing experienced champions with emerging talents. Bringing Acosta into the factory structure could be seen as securing the future while still capitalizing on the presence of Marc Marquez, who remains one of the most formidable riders in the sport. For Marquez himself, the arrival of a young challenger inside the same garage would add an entirely new dimension to his Ducati chapter. Since joining the Italian marque, the Spaniard has demonstrated that his hunger for victories remains as intense as ever. Yet sharing data, strategies and development direction with a rider as fearless as Acosta could quickly turn cooperation into rivalry. From a technical perspective, such a pairing might actually accelerate Ducati's development. Both riders are known for their ability to push machinery to its absolute limits and provide extremely detailed feedback. Engineers within Ducati Lenovo Team could potentially benefit from two riders capable of extracting performance in very different ways, allowing the bike to evolve even further. However, history shows that managing two ultra-competitive riders often requires delicate diplomacy. Team harmony can easily become fragile when both competitors are convinced they deserve to be the number one rider. Ducati's leadership, including team manager Davide Tardozzi, would need to ensure that internal competition strengthens the team rather than dividing it.